am here with the wonderful, iconic queen of home fragrance, Laura Slatkin. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the Nest brand in particular. We're going to smell through some fragrances. I'm so excited to be here speaking with you.
And it's so much fun to be here. Thank you so much for having me. This is really special.
This is going to be great. I think everyone... Nest needs no introduction. From your launch in 2008, Nest has become a household name. You started in home fragrance, and now you have a complete lineup with more categories. We have eau de parfum. We have these wonderful perfume oils. So I'm so excited to dive into them with you today.
Thank you.
Starting from the home fragrance world, what made you enter into different categories?
So it was really interesting. So home fragrance is something that, I've known my whole career from 1992 to 2008 when we launched Nest. And 3 or 4 years later, I was sitting in my library reading some art books. And I came across this book on an 18th century botanical artist, and I was flipping through the pages, Mrs. Delaney, and I come across this botanical that's absolutely stunning, and I ripped it out of the book, which is something that you're not supposed to do, and I wrapped it around one of my boxes, and I said, oh my gosh. I said, if I was going to create a fine fragrance collection, this would be beautiful artwork for a fine fragrance collection. Mm-hmm. So I took it to my office the next day, and I showed it to everyone. One by one, there's about 50 people in the company at that time. And everyone said the same, oh my God, that's so beautiful. What is that? And I went back to my office and I said, let's do it. So I commissioned a Russian artist to paint all my favorite botanicals, flowers and plants. And then I took those paintings to the perfumer and asked the perfumer to create the fragrance based on inspiration from the art. And so the whole process was steeped in enormous creativity. So I'm having a lot of fun working on this with no real plan in mind, but just that I wanted to do this.
Yes, passion project.
It's a passion project. So it's all of it sitting in my office on a table. All the different paintings, the cutouts, the wrapped boxes, the fragrances, et cetera, et cetera. It's all on this table. And in comes Sephora. And I asked Sephora to come to my office because I wanted them to carry our home fragrance collection. Mm-hmm. So they come into my office, and at a separate table, I go through the whole brand and tell them why it was so important for them to be in this category. And one of them says, well, what's that over there? And I said, oh, that's just a project that I'm working on. No, well, tell us about the project. And I said, I was sitting in my library one day flipping through and I tell them the whole story.
Right.
And they said, they get up from the table that we were at, and they go over to that table. They said, we want to sit here and we want to hear all about this. And so I told them the whole story. And I smelled all the fragrances. And they said, we're launching you. It was amazing. And, I said, but I need you to take home fragrance. We don't want home fragrance right now. We want this. Because little did I know, but Sephora had just made the decision that they were going to go into the niche fine fragrance business in a big way.
Wow.
And here I had exactly what they were looking for. It was like...
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. So Sephora launched us, and it created a huge business because that customer really loves Nest. Mm-hmm. Fine fragrance. And it's a very, very successful business. Really very, very, very successful, and I'm hugely proud of it. And then we launched into the perfume oil business.
Yes.
We launched at Sephora. This is a innovative new way to wear fragrance, the perfume oils.
I love them.
And and in the beginning, I wasn't really sure. But when we started to make the samples and I was testing it, I realized, wow, this is unusual because you're dropping the oil on your hand and then you're massaging it into your neck and your décolleté. And you're nourishing your skin and moisturizing your skin while you're fragrancing your skin. Because in the oil formula, we put baobab oil,
yes,
which is very nourishing and very moisturizing. And so the whole thing became this like sort of self-indulgent, really sensual way to wear scent. And we launched this business in 2021. And we thought in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes.
And we thought it would double our fine fragrance business at Sephora in probably 3 years. It doubled it in 9 months.
9 months.
And now it's like off the charts successful.
Why do you think during COVID, when we were all on lockdown and we were in our homes, fragrance, especially fine fragrance and
Yes, took
luxury
off.
fragrance really took off. Why do you think that is?
It was so odd because you think that, fine fragrance is something you put on if you're going out.
Right.
Why did it take off in the middle of COVID? I guess everyone had more time. Everyone got off the treadmill and everyone had more time to spend on themselves.
Yes.
And their families, looking inward, doing things that made them feel good. And people had the time to do that, right?
Sometimes I can't believe we went through it, but definitely your fragrances for me were a part of that journey.
Yeah.
Being in a not so large Manhattan apartment, finding different ways to create different moods or vibes in a small space, putting one candle here, a diffuser here, having fragrance on my vanity. And you had the perfect collection with Nest to really dive into that and create a sense of luxury, even though you couldn't experience life's little luxuries very much so.
Yeah.
But I could order the candle. I could order the fragrance. So thank you for your contributions for making our COVID lockdown lives a little bit nicer.
Thank you.
Continuing to do so, of course.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to smell through some things with you today. How do you feel about that? Are you ready?
Sure.
Where do you want to begin?
I
have bladders here.
Well, I think we should begin in the beginning.
Yes.
And this is our bamboo scent.
Yeah. So let's start smelling through some of your iconic candles.
This
bamboo. One I hear has been one of your best sellers
number
for quite
one
some
for
time.
30 years.
Bamboo, number one for 30 years for a reason.
And it's that little candle taught me everything I needed to know about how to be successful in the fragrance industry. To really keep going until you get something that makes people say, wow. If it doesn't turn heads, if it's not a knockout, we don't bother launching it. And we spend a lot of time and a lot of effort to create every fragrance and get it to the point where it's extraordinary.
It's absolutely immaculate. It's got such complexity. Could you tell me a little bit about the notes?
And we don't really talk about the notes because this is our secret sauce.
Oh, yes.
But it is a beautiful collection of white florals. And it does have an overdose of green notes.
Yes.
And a hint of citrus. And that combination makes it very, very unusual.
It's so
very
joyful.
Unusual.
How did you come up with the name bamboo for this? Because I understand there's, bamboo is the star here, right? That's what you name the fragrance. But I know there's other elements in it. How did you get to that?
I would say bamboo. It has had a few names. So it started out as bamboo and jasmine, then it's bamboo, but it's a jasmine note is at the head of it. But creating the right name for a fragrance, it just takes a lot of time.
It's hard.
We spent a lot of time on that too. But let me tell you that when I first started Nest, I really thought about naming fragrances in a different way. Because, for example, Coco Chanel was what I used to wear. Who knows what's in Coco? They never tell you.
No.
It's not in the name.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. And so when you go to smell it, you have nothing going on in your brain that prepares you for what you're going to smell.
Right.
And I decided to change that when I launched Nest. Because what I said was, I'm going to call it grapefruit. So people, their brains are automatically thinking, what are my olfactive memories of grapefruit? What does grapefruit mean to me? And so your brain already has something in its head. And then you go to smell the fragrance, and what you're smelling and what you're thinking come together, and it's like this subliminal aha moment.
Yes.
And so if my candle meets your expectations of what's in your mind beautifully, then I have nailed it.
Yeah, you've got a hit.
That's
smell
process.
Grapefruit, actually.
Yep. So grapefruit is neck and neck with bamboo these days, and it's a beautiful grapefruit. It's a pink pomelo grapefruit. It has a coriander blossom. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance.
Again, it's just like you've captured happiness. I can imagine this anywhere in the home.
Yeah,
I absolutely love it.
Like, everyone loves grapefruit.
Who wouldn't like grapefruit?
Grapefruit, cocktails, and hors d'oeuvres, and you're all set for the best party ever.
Okay, this is the recipe for the perfect party, everyone.
Yeah.
Pay attention here. Take notes. This is so wonderful. There's, and while they definitely project, somehow they don't ever like overwhelm.
Well, that's
how do you do that?
Yeah, that's because I only work with master perfumers, fine fragrance perfumers, and they use a different set of ingredients. So they have the technology or the ability, the skill to go into a flower and identify and extract only the most beautiful parts of the flower.
Yes.
So it's not just a rose, it's only the most beautiful parts of the rose. So their ingredients are very, very sophisticated. So then you're working with the finest ingredients, and then we have a proprietary wax formulation that we've perfected over 30 years that really infuses a room with fragrance. It's the highest quality wax on the market. It's FDA approved and cosmetic grade wax. It's the finest wax in the market. And so, you put all that together, and that's what really makes our candles exceptional. I was saying earlier, we were photographed by Douglas Friedman this weekend, who's such a great photographer. And he said, I'm staying in a hotel. Do you have a candle for me? So I took him into the garage where I have my inventory. And I said, what do you like? And he said, I like, smoky fragrances. I like leather, patchouli, that kind of thing. I said, okay, I have 3 for you to choose from. I'm going to give you 3 candles.
Yes.
Only if you promise me you'll take them back to your hotel room, burn each one over the next week, because he was going to be there for a week, and tell me which is your favorite. So he texted me the second he got home. I don't even need to burn these. Just opening the boxes infuses my hotel room with fragrance. I don't even need to light the candle. So we're known for that. We're known for delivering. And I think that's one thing that sets you apart from other candles on the market. Fine fragrance, but delivering the longevity, the balance. And also, I know there's an eye for, sustainability. There's an eye for cleanliness and non-toxic ingredients. For our boxes and our packaging, we converted to sustainable materials in 2017. So it's been a while. So that we got rid of all of our bad materials. So, for example, our holiday scent, which I know we're going to talk about soon, used to be in a red velvet box, and our birchwood pine had glitter. We got rid of all of that and went to sustainable packaging board, which is very, very important. And again, our wax formulation, it's the highest grade of wax available on the market.
And definitely some of the first brands to do this. It's not new. There's a lot more talk about sustainability and what does clean mean for the industry. And you've been at the forefront for that. Why was that important to you to make the transition? I
think that it's just a social responsibility and that we wanted to pay attention to, an important trend in the marketplace to really take care of the earth, and thinking about my daughter growing up and her children growing up, and how we may have, made mistakes in the past, but it's never too late to correct them for the future. That. Yeah. So
the next candle I want to talk about is the iconic holiday candle. Being someone who lives in Midtown, I'm very familiar with the candle myself, but during the holiday season, I was able to experience this same scent on Fifth Avenue, which was just so wonderful. Could you tell me a little bit about this best-selling holiday candle and how it became a fan favorite?
It's the quintessential holiday scent. It is everything everyone is looking for. All their olfactive memories of the holiday season are just sitting inside that candle glass. Pomegranate, clove, cinnamon, pine, mandarin orange. It all comes together, and it's just a beautiful, quintessential holiday scent. Everyone's burning it. And the Fifth Avenue Association came to us and said, will you scent Fifth Avenue for the holiday season? And sure. And we scented Fifth Avenue. I had no idea what a brilliant impact it was going to make on the city. And all the accolades and comments, and, just everyone was raving about it. But my favorite one was Andy Cohen from Bravo.
Yes, from Bravo.
Yeah. So he films himself. He said, I don't know. He's filming, he's walking down Fifth Avenue. I don't know. I know I'm high, but it smells like holidays. It smells like a Christmas on Fifth Avenue. I can't figure out what's going on. It was the funniest thing. And then he posts it.
Yes.
He gets home and he gets a flood of emails from people saying Nest holiday scent. He goes back on his iPhone and said, I now know, everyone's been telling, Nest scented Fifth Avenue with their holiday fragrance. How genius. And like, he went on and on and on. And I couldn't have asked for like
yes.
a better applause than him doing that, because it was so authentic. Yes. Like he was just walking down Fifth Avenue and he couldn't figure it out.
That was the same for Average Joe. We were like, what is happening here?
What's
and then eventually,
like
you knew it smelled like the holidays, but you're like, how? This candle is so absolutely perfect.
But we're really going into the summer months, and soon. And we just launched this Lychee Rose, which I just want to end on. Lychee Rose, which is the most beautiful fragrance. And my daughter, Allie, said, I'm obsessed. When I sent it to her, I said, what do you think of this? I'm obsessed. And it was inspired by my friend's wedding in Italy. She got married in Garda, and she had a beautiful display of beautiful garden roses. And we had pink champagne, and there was lychee rose cocktails and a hint of raspberries. Isn't that amazing?
It's everything I stand for. It is so perfect. My God. It's joyful.
Beautiful, right?
Beautiful rosiness.
Rose Absolute, pink champagne, a lychee accord, and a hint of raspberry. It's just everything. Isn't that gorgeous?
It's so absolutely gorgeous. It's a party. It is sparkling. You can wear it anytime.
Anytime.
If you were to build a fragrance for me, all of the ingredients you listed are in Lychee Rose.
Well, what's nice is when you have a floral fragrance and you introduce like raspberry and champagne, that just like makes it so wearable. Like, and you can go, like you said, you can wear it from morning till night. Isn't that gorgeous?
So was this fragrance?
That's my favorite.
As
my newest fragrance.
This is your new favorite? Mm-hmm. This is my favorite for sure.
Yeah.
I know you start with the bottle design like you were telling us. Is this something you brought in as well for Lychee Rose, and the ingredients came after? How did it come to be?
Because of that inspiration of being at that beautiful wedding, my friend's wedding in Italy, and seeing those beautiful garden roses, must have been 1 million garden roses that they got married under, overlooking the Lake Garda. And then afterwards we had these champagne cocktails with a hint of lychee liqueur, and just the whole experience inspired me to create this fragrance. So then I had the artist paint the painting with the lychees and the rose. And then we took that to the perfumer and the story. And he created this fragrance based on all of that inspiration.
It smells like love in a bottle. It's flirty. It's fun. It's perfectly balanced. It's present, but not overwhelming. It's a stunner. It's definitely my favorite. So thank you. Like, I'm geeking out over here talking about it with you.
Thank you. I'm really proud of it.
It's so wonderful. Let's talk about your perfume oils. They are so absolutely divine. It's a different way to wear fragrance. Yes. I think we're used to the eau de parfum, of course,
absolutely,
or even rollerballs. But let's talk about Madagascar Vanilla.
That's our number one scent. So I really went to the fragrance house and I said, tell me the most important ingredients around the globe. Tell me why they're so important, and that's where we're going to start. So in Madagascar Vanilla, it's really the vanilla bean, which is the most expensive ingredient in the world because of the process they have to go through to cultivate the vanilla bean and dry it, take the seeds out, dry it, drying the pods. It's a very elaborate process.
It takes over a year, right?
Yeah, it takes a really long time, and that's what makes it so precious and so beautiful. And Madagascar. So for all of these fragrances, we chose. There's different places where obviously vanilla beans are harvested, but Madagascar, it's really the best of the best, and that is our number one fragrance.
I get it. I get why. I will even put it into a little lotion, to like an unscented lotion, to just like even carry it further.
That's the best thing in the world to do, is to wear my perfume oils, then take the oil, drop it into an unscented moisturizer, moisturize your body. And so you're head to toe layering that fragrance. That is the way to wear perfume oils.
It's absolutely
I'm
divine.
proud of you.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Laura Slatkin is proud of me.
Well, I've been begging my company to please let me do an unscented body cream so that we could, with baobab
we
oil
can get
in
this
it.
set.
But we're going to do it soon.
And also thank you for introducing me to baobab oil. I remember looking at that word on the website. I was like, I wonder how do you say this? I know it's really important to this, but now I know what baobab oil is too. It's a divine, would you say that's a carrier for this, or?
It's an ingredient within the oil.
Ingredient, yes.
That moisturizes and nourishes your skin.
Absolutely stunning.
So the orange fragrance, Seville Orange, is special to me because I went to Seville and I met with the farmers, but in Seville, it's the last place in the world where they hand pick the oranges, and they pick them, fourth generation farmers that have been trained to pick them and really know their stuff. Just when it's at its brightest, its juiciest, and they really capture that fragrance just at the right time. And that's what makes Seville Orange so extraordinary.
It's wonderful. In each of your oils,
so
it's like there's a sense of place in them as well.
Yeah.
So you really feel like it's you're getting the best ingredient from the best place possible. You're working with the highest quality people
they
in
really
the region
about
who care.
It. That's the thing. So jasmine is grown all around the world, but in India, jasmine is a sacred flower, and they pray with the jasmine flower. It means everything to them. And that's why we went to India to get our jasmine, because they literally, it's in their churches, they pray with it, it's sacred to them. And so in the early morning hours when they're picking the jasmine, hand picking it, they do it with such love and deep respect. So it's special.
Yes.
So all of these fragrances, we went to different parts of the world to get our ingredients and to do it right. And they're pretty. They're really
gorgeous.
Pretty. To be honest with you, Harry never likes florals. He doesn't like straight floral fragrances, but he loves Turkish rose and he loves Indian jasmine, and so do I.
I love them. I know there's so many, as a rose girly myself, I know there's so many different variations of rose.
Yes.
Bulgarian, May rose. What made you select Turkish rose in particular?
Just the legendary rose fields of Turkey are just really, really special.
Damascena.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Absolutely special. And thank you for giving us a new way to wear fragrance.
Yeah, it's really exciting and very addictive. Once you start using a perfume oil, it's hard to stop.
Do you layer?
I do, but I never layer different scents. But I do what you do with body cream and layering that way. I don't mix my scents because too much work goes into every single fragrance I do. The idea of mixing two is like, but everybody takes the Madagascar Vanilla and adds it to the rose, or adds it to the jasmine, or adds it to the Seville Orange, and I get that. Balinese coconut and Madagascar Vanilla, beautiful combinations. But you don't want to, mix two opposite ends together,
Be careful when layering. They can stand on their own, but they can also be used to complement your scent routine, your fragrance routine in different ways. So extremely excited to continue trying these. I am going to try to take all of these home with me.
Good. You will.
So, Laura, as someone who has completely changed the game in fragrance, home fragrance, and award-winning scents in new categories like your perfume oil, what do you think is the future of Nest? And what do you think is the future for the industry?
Well, the future for Nest is very, very clear. We really want to lean into fine fragrance. I think we have a beautiful selection of home and our wellness scents. I mean, it's really a phenomenal collection of beautiful home fragrances. But we want to go big into our perfume oils and our fine fragrances because we're having so much fun and so much success with them. We just want to blow them out. And there won't be 5 perfume oils sitting there, there'll be 25 and, a like amount of fine fragrance. So we're going into fine fragrance and perfume oils in a very, very big way. And we're so excited to do that. And the future for Nest is global. So we North America is, we're number 1. in North America.
Yep.
And we want to be number one globally. So that's our big push, global expansion and fine fragrance expansion.
I'm so excited to see what Ness has to offer next. I'm right here. I'm waiting for everything, global expansion, more scents, more fragrances. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun. This is really fun.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.